Ladies and gentlemen, it's, by the way, I call people ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of partly because I'm a magician, that's the way we talk, and partly because I'm from Oxford, so I'm like that. So apologies in advance for all of that. It's very nice to be here with you. Thank you for having me, and thanks for turning up. Goodness me, I'm impressed. And you want to record me?
Yeah.
Damn it. I'll have to make sure I don't give away too many secrets. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. No worries. That's going to mess up my trick in a minute. But there we go. No, it's okay. Not that I do tricks, I do miracles. I'm the real thing, obviously. I am a magician, so there we go. And of course, as a magician, the subject of chance, there's so many things I could talk about, right? I could talk about taking risks. That's quite popular. And I'll come back to that a little bit in a moment. I could talk about chance as in odds, like, pick a card, 1 in 52. And the way I cheat odds a lot in my job. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start from a slightly unusual angle on chance, and I'm going to see where it takes us. But first of all, seeing as you can tell I'm a magician, I'm waving a napkin around like an idiot, I'm going to start off by showing you very quickly a very quick trick. There you go. Just to establish so you know who I am, what I'm doing. Hopefully you won't know quite what I'm doing, let's be honest about it. You can see through that damn cloth as well, can't you? How did I manage to pick up? Oh, there you go. This isn't going to work. Like that? Good? Good. That's better, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you a trick. It's a napkin, right? Normally I get them from the hotel, basically because if you go to the bar and you ask for a beer, can't afford it. If you ask for a napkin, they give it you for free. Then I use a napkin like this. That's my hand. I shake the napkin a little bit. And we have, there we go, a beer like that. It's a nice idea though, isn't it? Free beer in Norway, there's a miracle for you. That's the one that gets me most work, to be honest. The only problem with that trick, of course, is that everybody wants one. They all say, hey, stay with us all evening, we'll have one each, But as some of you noticed, as I walked up here with the beer down my trousers, it looked good, right? But 2 or 3 is too much of a good thing. Sorry, too early in the morning for that sort of comment. With that in mind, you wouldn't want to wrap your lips around it, would you? Maybe you would, I don't know. That's fine. One thing about my tricks I just mentioned now, to be honest, I don't really do any tricks as a rule unless I sort of get people involved a little bit. Let's see if I can put that on my hand there. Can I borrow your hand for a second? That's fine. That's my hand there, look. Lovely. Don't enjoy it too much. If you hold your hand up to there, look, and I just click my fingers like this, then I can get an extra drink there as well. Look. How about that? Oh, thank you. It's only water. But water to wine's an old trick, isn't it? Been done before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to do tricks, though. They said to me specifically, please don't do tricks. We're grown-ups. Just talk. That'll do. Plus, it's early in the morning. So I'm going to talk. When I turn up at a corporate event, I'm going to start from this point here. When I turn up at an event, for example, in Stavanger, typical event, the room's full of engineers who couldn't give a shit about the money they're making out of the oil, and also the whole group of people who are making money out of the oil, and a load of young students who are looking forward to their careers. And they're all sitting in a big room, and they've just had a little bit of wine. And then the voice comes on, ladies and gentlemen, we are lucky to have with us an entertainer, and one of Europe's most exclusive entertainers. He has performed for Hollywood superstars and royal families, and now he's here in Norway where the real money is. And then I walk in. They don't actually say that last line. That's very un-Norwegian to say that. They normally say, and now, so we thought it'd be perfect for us. And then I walk in, and I come in and I say, if I cut out the stupid jokes first, I normally say, ladies and gentlemen, I've got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is I'm a magician. And I look around, there's this lot of blank looks. Oh, God, First Norwegian word I learned, herregud. And then I say, the good news is I'm better than you think I'm going to be. And then we go from there. And I suppose if I sum up my career, or why I've managed to do well as being a magician, where perhaps many magicians who I would say are more talented than I am struggle to make any money out of being a magician, perhaps the secret is that I'm good at opening people up and getting them to, with my little stupid comments and by being myself, I'm able to open people up so they give me the chance to show them the trick and to give me a chance to show them something that they're going to find exciting. And that's the point I'm going to start with regards to chance. It's about, in a way, being given a chance. And you could say, what's the point of that, right? Because in one way, I'm saying that people have judged me beforehand. They think I'm going to be a boring so-and-so. They think I'm going to wear a top hat or bring a rabbit out. And also, I think people are nervous. They think I'm going to expose them. They're going to feel stupid, or in some way, right? So they feel a bit threatened by me as well. But if we're going to talk about those subjects, perhaps we should have talked about racism, or somebody who's been destroyed by prejudice or inequality. And all those things are really interesting, exciting subjects to talk about and very important. But I just want to talk about this because in one way it's such a silly little thing. I'm going to do a magic trick, you know. Why is that important? But perhaps it is, you know. Comedians, right, they come out, they make you laugh. And that's their job description, right? And if you've laughed, then they've done a good job. They'll get paid. It's all good. It's more difficult with a magician. We're about giving people experiences. Yeah? And that by definition, experience is something that changes you. It might sound a little bit over the top, but if you think about it, after an experience, you've got that experience. You take it with you. It's changed you, even in a tiny little way. And that experience has now become part of your life. And that's the way I see what I'm doing. That's why I put a lot of effort into getting a contact with my audience, because then I can show them things that they remember forever. I've met people 10 years after a previous performance, and they say, oh, we still talk about you every so often, you know. And I look at it in my wallet. This guy, 10 years ago, I'd been at his 40th birthday, so he brings out his wallet and he's got the signed card that I did something with. And it's so insignificant, but that's what life's about, isn't it? It's about little experiences. And if I can give a little bit into somebody's life, even if it's just a little bit of laughter, even if they just go say, oh, I met this magician once. And every time they ever see a magician, they say, oh, I met this magician. He did this, you know. He took my ring and ended up tied on his shoelace. Or, you know, it's something which has touched people's lives just a little bit. And those people who don't want to participate, you do get these people. They sit there and they're so worried about being made a fool of that they miss out on that little moment. And that's kind of where I'm going to take my starting point tonight. And you see, a lot of you are creatives as well. You're creative people, right? You're working from designers to, I don't know, musicians, different things. And when we talk about chance, a lot of the time, especially in show business, we talk about getting your chance. Your one chance is in our culture to think about chance in that way, very much so. Or you talk about, I've got a goal in my career, I'm going to get there, I'm not going to take anything by chance. No matter what happens, even if chance is against me, I'm going to go through it and get to the end. But I think it's very important to be open and to let the things that happen and the chances that come up affect me and change me. And those little experiences in life that make me a more interesting character, they then are going to have a huge impact on my ability to be successful as a creative person in a creative job. Because all of that creativity comes out from our lives. And the other thing about being creative, certainly in a commercial respect, and I think in everywhere really, if you're any sort of artist, it's about communicating something to people. And if you haven't got a connection with people, then you can't communicate it. I say this to magicians when I speak to magicians very occasionally. Very occasionally, they don't pay very well for me to talk to them. But I always say to them, you know, it's very well, you've got a fancy trick, but if no one's watching you, then nobody cares. You haven't actually achieved something with it. But if you get to a connection with people, you can, and that's why it's so important to have that social life, to have contact with real life, and to let things in life affect you, become a more interesting, more rounded person, and then you'll be able to communicate, and you'll have a much better sense of who it is you're communicating with. Because a lot of creative jobs is about communication, be it graphically, musically, marketing, branding. For me, I'm a creative person, I'm creating a lot of things, but it is very much directed, it's very commercial, I'll be honest with you. I'm not an artist that does art for art's sake and I just enjoy myself in my own little world. It's about branding, it's about marketing. And that's my normal intro as well, the wind machine. I want to encourage you to take that approach to chance, to let things in life affect you, to be open to new experiences, especially, and to be a bit suspicious of the modern take control way of thinking. I want to In my act, I perform always, in every job, if I possibly can, I include some mingling in my performance. So I go up to people, I meet them. And my whole performance style is very open as well. So I'm experiencing people, I'm experiencing my audience, I'm experiencing you guys today, early in the morning. Not quite sure whether you got the energy to chuckle at a little joke. I did a couple of card tricks on you guys here, and I was open for you to make comments to me the whole way, right? If you want to grab something and check it, or, it makes my job extremely challenging, but it also makes my job extremely rewarding, and it gives an edge to my performance, because I'm letting the performance different every time as well, letting people get involved. I do a lot of tricks with rings, and maybe I'll show you very quickly now. I'm quite well known for doing tricks with rings. The only problem is I take my ring off when I travel, so that's an old trick. No, I'm joking. I'm not that bad. But I was just wondering, does anybody here have a ring that I could borrow just for a moment, just to demonstrate something quickly? Does anyone have a ring? Yeah, one maybe. Oh gosh, take mine. I've been trying to get rid of it for years. There's that my mic down? I'm trying my best to ruin your film, man. Very nice, very nice. Thank you, madam. My wife will be delighted. I don't know if you can see from there, there's a nice ring with a green stone. Can you see that? As I say, I'm normally mingling at this point, so it's normally a lot closer. But I figure it'll be easy like this. You can't see anyway. There's a ring there, you see. If I cover it up like this. In this instance, I've seen the opportunity there, just in a second because of the angles, to put the ring into my pocket without you noticing. Hopefully. You didn't notice? So the ring's gone, you see, and now it's in my pocket down here. Damn it. I kind of screwed that up as well. It's actually on a little hook hanging out of this little wallet there. All right. The thing I enjoy about this trick is that I kind of do it differently every time, and there's so many little things. I mean, it is the same ring, by the way, if you're wondering. The old-fashioned way, of course, is to do it up the sleeve like this. It goes up here and goes down into my wallet here. So inside here, I have, if I just undo that, I have a ring just there, you see. Your ring, and not any old ring, it's your ring. You can see it's the same, can you? Even from there. It's quite dark. You reckon that's the green stone, isn't it? Very nice stone, by the way. Is this stone expensive? Oh, what's the point then? I've already switched it out for a piece of plastic, but there's probably no reason. No, there's a ring there. Yes, anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit about the way I work. I mean, sometimes I can't really handle this ring either. If I do it on my sleeve again, you see, then it goes into here again. But this time what I've done is I put it into this little wallet here. I'll show you this. Yeah. I open up the first part, and I'll pass it over to you, and you can open up the end. But I put it in a nest of wallets because I get paid by the minute as a rule. I have to drag it out. Can you pass that back maybe? Is that right? It's a sealed envelope, of course. We'll look after your things. Can you just check it's yours and confirm so that they know that they can... There's nothing in there, no? Yeah, I've heard the old insurance claim before. Ripping it open, yeah? It is well sealed, isn't it? Yes. And that's your ring. Yeah, hallelujah. Thank you. Turned out to not be a terribly good example of taking chances when I perform, but I do. I like to perform in the middle of people and do all sorts of things like that, which people connect very much with close by. You guys at the back, sorry, you missed the whole of that little sequence. Next time you can sit at the front, rather than being in your safety zone at the back and not taking a chance. That's what I was trying to talk about. But let me just, the thing is, I was going to say in my act I do that, but also in my life. I think it's so important to take chances. And when I describe my own act to other magicians, I say it's like surfing. I say that if you open yourself up and let the audience be a part of your act from start to finish, then there's waves, and you're kind of balancing, and you're going with it, and you're changing as you go along. But on the other hand, you get such a kick. And the audience feels that edge in your performance. And each performance is different, and it's so rewarding. Of course, the bigger the waves, and if you like, the harder the audience, the more the sense of achievement when you manage it as well. And sometimes the more spectacular the results. I took a job recently in the Rockefeller in Oslo, opening a concert for Violet Road, right? You know Violet Road? Heard of them? Norwegian band from up north. A lot of fun. They had a show theme, the Road Show, and they just said, oh, why don't you open the concert? So at 11 o'clock, at 9:30 in the evening, 1,000 people in the Rockefeller concert, most of them from up north in Norway, which is a whole different breed of people, I've understood. They're all quite drunk, waiting for this band to come on, and on come I with the magic tricks, you know? What? And it wasn't hardly getting paid for that job either, but I did it because it was just such a cool thing, and the sense of achievement when you've got that whole place laughing and with you, and for a different sort of show than I would normally do. That's great. So taking chances gives you that chance to get a sense of achievement and gives you a chance to have experiences as well, as I mentioned earlier. And take it out of work context. Because I was talking about you have a focus on your career. You want to achieve that, right? And then sometimes it's easy to try to cut out the chance elements rather than letting things affect you. And I was 9 years ago, something like that. I forget how old I am. So rather you did as well. I was a working magician in England. In England there are loads of magicians. So you can be good, you can be, it doesn't matter, you don't get terribly well paid for it. I had good clients, a good level of clients, and I had a lot of clients. And I was doing at that point an average of around 10 shows a week. When I was working, in fact the average over the whole year was I think 8 or 9 shows a week. All for different clients, travelling around, doing loads of shows, getting a few thousand kroner at each job, and earning quite well. And then I got cancer. And at that point in my life, I was doing these shows, mass producing them. I had a little show that worked, I would do it, and move on to the next job. I did shows for family audiences, I did shows for adults. I didn't have an identity as an artist, but I was doing all right, I was making some money, that's cool. And that alarm's telling me I haven't got that many more minutes to talk to you. But the thing is, then I got cancer. And everything stopped. I had to have chemotherapy. In fact, initially I was told by the doctor, that's it. Well, the doctor said to me, look, I just want to prepare you here. It looks like you've probably only got weeks to live. And they got that wrong, thankfully. But the shock that put through my life, of course I had a young son who was 2 years old, a wife, we've been married for 2 years. And that completely changed my perspective. Partly that shock. It was a few weeks later I found out that it was probably going to be okay. I had an operation, I had to have chemotherapy, but also I had to stop working. And this is not Norway, right? In Norway you have loads of money, everyone looks after you, it's great, even though you probably, in Norway they don't give you the treatment for cancer but until 6 months later, but they do at least look after you. Whereas in England I was self-employed, that's it, no income. I had to sell, first thing I had to do, you find out you've got cancer, next week you sell your car. That's the way it was for me. So, yeah. It was a very tough time. Gosh, I haven't talked about this before, so that's a bit odd. I'm never emotional, it's early in the morning. But anyway, that was in one way a chance for me. I talked to my wife and I said, right, I don't know what I've been doing. I've been doing all of these shows. I'm not going to do that anymore. So we said, okay, we're going to think about where we want to live. Maybe we'll move to Norway, my wife's from Norway. And we started a process then, we moved to Norway a few years later. But at that point, I cut out the shows, I said, do you know what? I'm going to charge a lot more money. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to do shows the way that I believe they should be done. And I'm going to say no to the people who don't want that or who can't afford it. I'm going to be true to my character. I'm going to develop a character. And I'm going to be the artist I want to be. And I felt at the time like I was throwing away my career. I thought, that's it, I'm going to be a teacher. And I'm going to do some shows on the side, and I was happy for that. But as it turned out, of course, that was a huge step in my career. And that meant that I became an artist that people could relate to, that people thought that is the only magician who's like that in England or in the world. It meant that I developed this sort of relaxed way of performing that worked. Before I was just another magician amongst all the magicians. All of a sudden, people wanted me. And then when I came to Norway, again, I thought I was leaving my career that was just starting to take off in England behind. But it ended up being another step up. Of course, Norwegian's a good market for me, and I had no competition at all. No offense if there are magicians in the room. And now I have both of course, because I've done that step up, as chance would have it, that step had given me away into an international market, so it didn't matter anymore where I lived. I could travel from anywhere to most of my clients, even though now already most of my clients are in Norway. So I wanted to share that with you because when you think about chance, you don't think about something like that as giving you a chance. But as life goes on, your perspectives change. It's good to allow that. It changed my perspective on life. And in a way, it seemed to be taking me away from my career, but it didn't turn out that way. So I wanted to share that with you. And finally, I'm going to show you a trick. Another trick. Yay! There we go. Let's get over that. There we go. This one here. I'm going to show you this because I'm quite well known for this trick, right? It is kind of one of my trademarks. And amongst magicians who know how I do it, they love it. Magicians love this, knowing how I do it. And it's a fascinating thing about the business, which if you want to chat about it later, I can talk about it. But with YouTube and so on, I would never, this is one trick I would never do on TV. I could talk about chancing with regards to TV in Norway as well. That's an interesting story. But I've been approached by, 7 different TV companies this year about doing a TV show. And I'm so glad that I haven't done any of them. But that's a story about the market and also the way chance, if one of them had come in 2 years ago, I would have taken the chance and I would have damaged my career by being on TV on the wrong program. But because 7 came in at once and I was able to step back and say, wait a minute, what do I really want to do? Then I ended up actually being able to take the right decision and not do it. But anyway, I still might go on TV, mind. I just have to hope I do find the right opportunity when it comes up. This trick here is something which you have to kind of let yourself go and enjoy it for a moment. Don't worry too much about how it's happening for now. I'm going to do it without background music. And I performed this many times, often in old houses in England for the aristocracy and so on, and different royal families and so on. I always joke about the Norwegian royal family. It's, apart from the fact that I always say that Martha Louise, she'd believe anything. She did like this one, but I think she didn't quite like it either, actually, to be honest. But I do need someone to help me out for this, so I'm going to ask a lady to help me out. I always do on this particular one. It's nothing sexist, guys. I just prefer women. I was wondering, Madam, could you help me out for a moment? Would that be okay? Yeah. That'd be great. Thanks. So what's your name? Beth. Sorry? Beth. Beth. Beth, lovely to meet you. I'm John. Spelled without an H, bizarre enough, if you're going to look me up on Google later. It's nice to get it right. There we go. Fantastic. And I'm just so tempted to steal a watch, but I won't, because that's not part of the act. You should be careful with that watch, by the way. It's very easy to steal. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm run out of time, so I'm going to show you this. Yes, we perform this in old houses, and it freaks people out, especially if I do mind reading first. I do mind reading, by the way, because it's very intimate. I like to do that on stage. And then normally you put the name of a dead person in there and it flies. It freaks people out. No dead people involved, though, all right? That's why I had to move from England, really. No, I'm joking. Apart from my grandmother, of course, it was her table. It's funny, there's a few of her ashes still in there. I blow them out every night and every morning they're back. How weird is that? Here we go. Oh, shit. I was going to say, this trick is a bit special to me because it's something that has to be experienced live. And it's just not the same if you see it on TV or on a video or anything like that. In the right time and place, it's quite special. Oh shit, we've got the table moving now. I don't think... That freaks me out, to be honest. Should you lift the corners up a little bit so we can see underneath? Imagine showing this to engineers in Stavanger, it pisses them off. Oh. Just show you under that. Could you just grab the corners again for me for a second? Is that all right? Lift the corners up a little bit. That's great. And then bring your hands down again. Fantastic. Big round of applause for my assistant, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. And that's all from me, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you've enjoyed my little speech and things. Thank you. Thank you very much.